Hey everyone, Sif. Welcome back to Uma. I've done a couple chores in the background that I'll just show you quick. We've played through all of our new Uma stories. We've gotten a couple extra carrots from that. We played through chapter 3, which has given us a new support card. It's given us our winning ticket SSR card here, which is okay. If we take a look at it, if we go to level and we take a look at it, no, we can level from here. Yeah. All right, so if we level it from here, we can see we've got spec priority 20. We've got friendship bonus and initial friendship gauge once we get to level 40, which we can't do without a few uncaps. So, not an amazing card, an okay card. Friendship bonus is fine. Training effectiveness is fine. Spec priority is a little low. The biggest draw of the ticket power card is the skills. You've got Slick Surge for late surgers, Position Pilfer for late surgers, Outer Swell for late surgers. Then you've also got some good guaranteed skills as well. You've got In Body and Mind for gold. Then you've got late surger corners as well. So if you're doing a parent run, and we'll get to parent runs probably in a couple days at this point, it's a great card for late surger parents specifically, but in terms of actually using it itself, it's not great, and it's also got a couple nasty events that drain quite a bit of energy out of you, so not really something you're usually looking to use. And then over here, we also played through all of our event stories for the current running event, Hungry for a Miracle. It got us a copy of the Marvelous Sunday card, which is nice. The other 3 are going to come from Prize Derby, and then the last copy is going to come from our event point rewards. So as far as what we're working on today, we finished our first row of Team Trials runners last time with a pretty abysmal Super Creek run that managed to get the job done, but was not anything special in particular. I would say we had pretty poor luck on it. What we're going to be working on for the next 5 days, 1 day per run, is the next row of Team Trials runners. And I think given the way the Super Creek run went, I just want to run another long runner back, and I want to see just how good that deck is. It's difficult to get an idea of how well it performed when I think we had pretty bad RNG on it. So we're going to jump in with Tachyon this time. Our plan for long runners specifically is looking for runners that have recovery uniques. And Tachyon and Creek are the only 2 that we have right now that have access to those. Tachyon also gets decent growth, 20 in speed, 10 in guts is whatever, but 20 in speed is also going to help make sure that he's actually a fast runner. And we're going to see how well we can do for this. As far as aptitudes go, Turf A, Dirt G, she's a turf runner. Medium A, Long B. We need to bump this long to A in order to use her for long team trials, and then Pace A, late B. If you go back and look at our actual team trials roster, we already have Creek in Pace. And Creek has to be in Pace because it allows things like preferred position to trigger, and it also makes it easier to trigger her unique skill. So for Tachyon, in order to get as many points as possible out of our Team Trials roster, we're actually going to run her as a late surger. Which means in our legacies, we want to look specifically for people with longs and people with lates. And then we'll include Sparks from Origin Legacies too. Options include a Super Creek that's long front mile, but does have a 2-star stamina on board because we have the 2-star Bakshin in there. That's not a horrible idea. We've got 2 mile, 3 late, 1 long. I would really rather not have the mile spark, but the long spark is nice, the late surger spark is nice, but we can just use the vodka herself that gave us those sparks. And this parent is perfect for what we want to do. This late surger spark is going to bump us from B to A. This long spark is going to bump us from B to A. We're not going to use mile corners, but we are potentially going to use slick surge as a hint. So this vodka is perfect and exactly what we're looking for. And then for our second borrow, we'll just throw Creek in because Creek also has, she doesn't have access to the vodka. She has access to the stam sparks off of Bakshin though, which is pretty good. So we could either run Creek or we could run Daiwa, who does have access to this vodka. I don't know that I need a lot of late surger sparks, so I would rather just take the plus 12 stamina that we're getting off of Bakshin. And that looks fine for what we have access to. As far as deck is concerned, we should probably do a better job of sorting these out. Let's go copy this, paste this here, because this is a long deck specifically. So you're going to be long. We'll say long TT for team trials. Let's actually stay organized here, and then this is going to be medium TT. And the medium team trials deck, we can put some power cards back into, but we'll do that next time we have a medium distance runner. Paro is Kita-san, and they should be perfectly fine. It's the same deck we used for Creek. I think the deck itself is fine. I would just like to see better RNG out of it. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention is this event boost that you have the ability to do at the start of a career. In general, I do not think that using the event boost is a good idea. It's going to use twice as much TP as you usually use, and then the effect is that you get 2 times the amount of event points and prize coins so that you can progress the event faster. The problem is that you also convert TP into money and support points and banners and shoes and sparks. If you're spending 30 TP on a training, you can run 2 careers in the time, well, not in the time, but with the TP that it would take you to run a single doubled career. But you'd get twice as many sparks out of it, and you'd get twice as many rewards out of it. In this case, because I'm only doing 1 run a day, I actually think using the event boost is a really good idea. But if you're playing Uma and you find yourself constantly out of training points, I would suggest you probably shouldn't use the TP boost because you're already getting enough currency out of the game as is. This is a useful setting for people who don't play much but still want to finish the event so that you don't burn yourself out because of FOMO. But if you're playing the game normally, doing, 2, 3, 4 careers a day, it's not something that you should generally need. So let's go ahead and get started. Continue playing on Unity Cup just because it's going to be better for our stats. First 2 turns are going to be no Unity training at all, so we're just going to look at friendships. Seems like a fine speed training to start with, even gives us a hint. Power is an option, but I would rather get the hint out of Cafe, because Cafe has quite a few good long skills. Lovely. It's exactly what we're looking for. That's also a really good speed training. So we're not going to be able to neglect stamina forever here. Tachyon does not have stamina growth in the same way that Super Creek did, and I still want to keep those roughly equivalent, but keeping them roughly equivalent for Tachyon means we're going to have to spend more time training stamina. This is an okay power. It's 2 and 2, and it also kicks a little bit of stats over to stamina. It's better than all the other trainings we have, so we can definitely take that, and I think it's also good enough that we would take it instead of a recreation. But we would like to recreate soon. Happily take stamina here because our stamina is lagging behind our speed. Will you let me recreate this turn? I really wish that I had done a little bit more energy management early, but I think all of our training so far have been fine because I'd like to take that stamina. But I don't need to gamble on the 4th turn of the game. That's great energy recovery from that. And now I think we can just let our mood roll, because we know over on the agenda that we get a free mood up in September 2. Right here is where we get a free mood up. So we don't necessarily need to rush to great mood immediately. We know we're going to get it sort of for free later. We have no spirit trainings here at all. We could spend energy on a pretty bad power training, or we could just conserve energy on a wit that brings Pico up a little bit. I'm fine doing that. Guts 10 versus Speed 5, Power 5. We're going to take Speed Power on that, no question. Good spirit trainings, perhaps? That's not great. That's not great. That's a good power training, even though it has no spirit trainings on it. That's not a great guts training. This might be one of those rare cases where I actually take a better friendship growth over a worse spirit training, just because the spirit trainings right now aren't very good. I'll jump on that power. It elevates both of our SSR support cards on friendship a little bit, which is nice. We'd like to get them into rainbow territory soon, so we can start doing rainbow trainings. We've got 1 spirit and 1 on speed, 2 and 0 on stam, 1 and 0 on power. I think this is just going to be a fine wit turn again. None of these trainings are amazing, and I want to make sure that I can jump on a good training as soon as we see one without going too far into energy debt. That's a decent power. I think that's a power that we're happy to take. I would spend on that. 2 friendship, 2 unity training. We're a little risky on the next train, but if we hit an energy recovery event, we're good. If we have a decent wit, we're good. That's pretty unlucky. Would I jump on a 15? Do I think that my deck could do better than this next turn? I guess is the better question I should be asking. And I think it can. So if we rest now, then we have at least like 2 or 3 trainings that we can do before the debut. The rest of these don't look that good. I'm disappointed to have to pass up on that stamina training. It's possible we could have done better energy conservation earlier. But this is also fine. It brings Biko up. It's 1 spirit training. It's pumping a little bit of numbers into stamina. It's certainly better than this stamina training because there's just nobody there. Like, we're getting 9 stamina out of this training. We're getting 6 out of this one. And 10 power for free, and it's advancing our spirit training the same amount. I think that's perfectly fine. The speed is okay, but I don't care about getting Kitasan to gold. Rainbow trainings this early are really not going to be that impressive. They're just going to distract me from trying to focus on unity trainings. Great energy recovery. Decent power training. Really good wit training, though. I think we take that instead of the stamina. This has been fine so far. None of these trainings have been super impressive, and our energy management has been a little awkward. There was 1 good stamina training that we would have liked to take that we didn't have the opportunity to. But all things considered, I think we've done fine so far. Now, our plan is to run Agnes's late in team trials. That does not mean that we need to run her as a late surger in career, though. And the further up we have our trainee run, the more consistent we're going to be overall, because it's going to reduce our chance of getting blocked. So even though we know we want her to be a late surger eventually, I'm going to keep her as pace probably for most of her career, unless she gets really good late surger hints, and then I might drop her to late. But at the end of the run, when we go and buy all of our skills and we slide her into team trials, we will definitely put her in as late surger. And here, it looks like she's going to be the front pace chaser, which means she's going to run like she's a front runner. The game really doesn't like it when there is no front runner, so in cases where you only have pace chasers in your race, the game will usually pick the pace chaser who's furthest ahead at the end of early race, and it'll just make them a front runner, in terms of dealing with things like position keep, and in terms of dealing with things like pace down. So it looks like Agnes has adopted that front runner role for this race, just because she's the fastest pace chaser here. I think it still means she can proc her unique skill. I'm not entirely sure, because I don't play Agnes a lot. But it's also the debut, and we should just be able to win off of raw stats alone. Coming up on the late race transition, and we've actually spent a pretty considerable amount of time training power so far, so she should have pretty good acceleration relative to everyone else around her. Yeah, she's getting a good jump off the line relative to everybody else. She should be... There's no shot she's getting caught from that far back. That should be an easy debut win. Seven lengths? Holy cow. She's crazy. Alright, good job so far. 6 length debut victory. Very well done. Let's keep it going. "16 turns to reach goal. We only need 630 fans, but she can't run miles. So what are we looking to book in? We're probably looking to book in the Hopeful Stakes. That's basically the only medium distance and above race that's worth running in the first year. So we'll keep an eye on the agenda. We'll pencil that in, and if we don't take it, we don't take it, but it would be nice to. Great power training. Again, every time we train power, we're training stamina basically like half rate. It would be nice if we had a little bit of speed going on, but I'm more than happy to keep putting points into stamina incidentally by just taking good power trainings, and then this is just a good stamina training straight up. We're getting close to Spirit Burst on Biko and Kita-san. We're actually at Rainbow for Kita-san, and that's not a horrible speed training. It's not great, but it's not horrible, and I think it's better than everything else we have right now. So even though it's just 19 and 9, and it's a 2% fail, I'll still take it. It pushes Kita-san to burst. We are going to have to rest this turn, unless we get a good energy recovery. That's not going to do it. We're crossing our fingers and hoping none of these trainings are good. It's a nice power. I would probably take it if we had the energy, but I'm not going to take it with the way we are now. Let's pop a rest. Let's get a little bit of extra energy back from this event as well. 2, 3, and 1. I would rather take the power. Like, it's an okay guts training, but I'd rather take the power because it's a more critical stat for what we want to do with this run. The wit is also nice, and I think there's a world where I might take that wit if our energy wasn't full, but we're fine on energy. We can spend a little bit. Rainbow? It's okay, Rainbow. It's not great. It's better than stamina. It's better than guts. It's about as good as wit. It's a 1-on-1 on spirit training. It's more friendship growth on wit. What do you really care about here, honestly? I think either of them are good. I'm gonna go with the wit because I'd rather wait for a better spirit training specifically. I don't think this is great on spirit training, and I think this is one of those cases where you can fall into a trap by thinking that rainbows are good early in Unity Cup when your speed stat is still just like level 1 on its facility. I don't think it's nearly as good as it is later on in a run. So let's keep preserving energy and make sure we can jump on good spirit trainings when we see them. This isn't really one of them, but we're doing okay on energy preservation, and it is 2 spirit trainings, so I think I'll still take it. We can afford to train next turn no matter what, and with a good energy recovery in like the next 2 or 3 turns, we could train twice. 1, 2, also 2. I think this is fine for stamina. It puts Biko and Haru at burst. We're going to be in an energy hole. We would like to see an energy recovery. Guts 10. That's not quite what I was looking for. And that's a really good speed training too. Damn. Maybe we should have conserved our energy a little better. Because I would love to take that. I don't think I have to gamble on it at 22%. It's going to screw up the rest of this entire year. So if we take this and we pass, we rest November late, we train December early, we race December late if our trainings are bad. But if we fail this training, we're down an extra mood, we're down an extra 5 energy, we don't get the stats from it, we don't burst, which means we have to rest November late, and then we only have 2 turns to use up the Spirit Burst for Unity Cup. The risk of failing this training is too high. It would be really nice if we succeeded, but I can't guarantee that we're going to succeed on a 22%, so I'm just going to take the rest, the safe play, and we'll hope that we get a good training somewhere in these next 3 turns. That's not great. That's okay. We are getting close to the end of the year, so we can spend energy a little more aggressively than we would otherwise, but I'd really like to see a burst on this turn. And we have our pick. We can take any of these that we want. So this one works on Rice's friendship. This one works on Biko and puts King Halo to threshold, but I don't think it's going to be worth bursting on Guts. We need all of our stats to go to speed, stamina, little, and power. And this is nice for energy recovery, but I don't need to worry about energy recovery with how close to the end of the year we are. So I think this is a power burst, and it's an okay power burst. Late Surger Corners is also a really nice hint for what we have plans for this run for. And then let's look at trainings. That's not a good speed. That's a pretty decent wit. Actually, that's a really good wit, because it pushes Mejiro and King Halo to burst. But we only have 5 turns left until we need to hit our fan goal, so if we don't run the Hopeful Stakes, what are we doing to get fans? We could run a G3 in early January. We could run an... I would rather not run an open. Can't run anything there. We could run an open. So if we don't run the Hopeful Stakes this turn, we have to run the Keisei High specifically. Otherwise, we're going to be taking some pretty bad race options. Given what this wit training does for us long term, by unlocking 2 more boosts and also giving us a small stat gain before we go into the Unity Cup, I think I'll risk it, even though we made this same play with Super Creek last run and it worked out horribly for us. I think this time will be different, based on absolutely nothing but a gut feeling. And then same question we ask ourselves every time, is this the run where we win our first Unity Cup round? We have so many E rank runners, including Haru on dirt, which is a good sign. We've got E King Halo on sprint, E Rice Shower and McQueen on medium, E Kita-san on long, and then E Haru on dirt. I don't think I have to change any of that. This is the best shot we've had so far. Wait, am I on long? I'm on long. You know what? I'll pick up that long straightaway soon. I would like to win. I would really like to win my first Unity Cup round. That's an okay sign. We have no X's. I don't trust those race evaluations very much at all, but it's not a bad sign. Holy cow, we've won our first Unity Cup round. They said it couldn't be done. So what do we get out of that? We get a small attribute boost, but we also get a larger team stat boost, and your team stats are what levels up your facilities. So it's giving us a stronger start to the rest of this run because it's continuing to level up our facilities early so that we have more time to train on high-level facilities late. That's speed, stam, guts, and wit all up to level 2. That's an insane stamina training. Here we go again. Should we? Well, we wouldn't have even seen these bursts if we didn't skip the hopeful stakes. So now our question is, would we take this stamina burst and run an objectively worse race in like an open and get fewer stats from it and fewer skill points from it? We do have 2 opportunities to run opens, and this is a really good training. Sure. I really need a turn where we just don't have good training so that I can run a race guilt-free. But I think that's too good to pass up. I would be a little concerned, except we only need 630 fans. So even if we come in, like, first of all, they're opens. So the competition is not going to be that bad. But second of all, we only need to come in like 5th. We don't even necessarily need to win. Please show me a bad training. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. This is so unnecessarily risky. But it's good. It's a really good training. So what is our plan, right? We should always have a plan. Plan number 1, run the Wakagoma stakes, ignore a good training. In February, we literally can't run any of these races. We're mile aptitude C. We could maybe scrape a victory out of one of these, but it would be very difficult. So if we take this speed training, we have to run the Sumayer stakes, and we have to not get blocked. And both of those things need to be true. That's so risky, but I'm gonna try it anyway, because that's a really good training. So we train this. We rest February early. There's no other option here. Power 5, skill points 15? Yeah, happily. We'll look at the trainings just for fun. That's a fine stamina training if we had full energy. That's a fine burst on wit if we had full energy. I'm not going to risk the failure. I want all the energy back now. So we're going to rest here. And then we have to run this turn, or we just fail the scenario. It doesn't matter how good the training is. It could be a triple rainbow with a burst on it. And in fact, that's a great stamina training and a good power training. It doesn't matter. We have to run. We have to run or we fail the career. Please do not get blocked. Thank you so much. You don't know how much this means to me. And the -5. Okay. Already, I feel like we have better RNG on this run than we did with Creek last time. Let's go run the Yayoi show. We have good stat growths right now. I don't think this should be much of a problem at all. But we'll see. Like, Creek didn't win a race until her senior year, so technically anything is possible. That's not true. She won her debut, and I think she won like one open. She didn't win a G1 until her senior year. I'm not sure who's supposed to be a frontrunner here. I think there's only one frontrunner, and then we're just like third among pace chasers, which is fine. This also isn't a long, so we're not going to get our long straightaway trigger. This is just a medium. But we should be able to activate our unique, and our unique gives us a small amount of velocity in addition to recovering endurance. So that might help us catch up to the rest of this pack if we can't just do it off of raw stats alone. And then our power is deceptively good for a long runner because we've been spending quite a bit of time training power, so I don't think we're going to have any acceleration issues late race either. Let's see just how far up she can get before we hit that late race threshold. I love that Rudolph is this far ahead because she's not going to trigger her unique. And I don't see a ton of competition coming from behind unless there's somebody back there with a really scary acceleration. But this should be our race to just take over at this point. We're not building as much of a gap between us and Rudolph as I would really like. I don't see a lot of other people moving very quickly in the back. I think we're okay. I think we're good. Yeah, there we go. G2 in the bag. Extra trophy for our trouble. Extra stats for our trouble. And then everything else is G1s. We've got 1, 1, 1. It's a good spirit training in terms of energy. It's a good normal speed training in terms of friendship growth. Don't get me wrong, but I actually wouldn't mind conserving energy here, even though I'm full, because it's going to bump Biko up a little further. It's going to build friendship. I just don't feel compelled to burn energy on this right now with how many trainings we've had so far this run that we've had to skip because we haven't had the energy. We have a lot of things going for us right now. We have a lot of Unity bursts available. We have a decent number of people at Gold Friendship. We have good opportunities for training, and I think that means if I don't see those opportunities manifest themselves, I'm fine playing a little more patient. What do we got for Satsuki's show? We don't have enough skills at this point to bother running late. Like, just getting late surge or corners I don't think is going to be good enough. I think we'll just run with what we've got. Stats-wise, how do I feel like we're looking? Okay. We should probably try and get stamina to like 300 before we run the derby, just for a little bit of extra padding. But 322, 254, 272 should be good enough to win the Satsuki show. I want to see like one burst on stamina in the next 2 turns, and then I'm feeling really good about our current calendar of G1 races for Classic year. Front runners are off and away. We're fine as the front of the pace chasers so far. We have a nice gap, so we don't have to worry about pace down. If we can just hold this position for a while until mid-race, and then we can start to take off, I think we're feeling great. Rushed should be fine. I think our stamina will still be okay, but I would really like to see our unique trigger if that's going to be the case. Pace down should be over at this point, so we can start working up the field. I'd really like you to get around Teo so that you don't get blocked later on. I'd also really like to see a unique here soon. Thank you. Thank you so much. That makes me much less worried about the fact that we rushed earlier. And then let's see how good your power is to get past the rest of these guys. Looking pretty good. Doing a decent job of closing that gap. I think she should have it. She was making good pace before the bar went away. I don't see the other front runners triggering much. Ooh, she's got it. All right. First leg of the Triple Crown done. First Satsuki Show victory. This run may have what it takes. So we've got 2 turns at full energy to see a burst on stamina, and I'll feel really comfortable about the derby. That's not a burst on stamina. It's not even a good stamina training. I would rather do the speed here because it progresses unity bursts. I think the power is fine for building Biko's friendship, but it also pushes Cafe even closer to rainbow speeds, and none of these other trainings are really worth doing. So we'll jump on the speed. It's also just, like, never bad to have speed. Show me a burst on stamina, or show me a rainbow on stamina if such a thing is possible. Not quite. Would you settle for a burst on power? You definitely would over that rainbow speed. It's not that impressive. You probably would over that wit. I think this is an okay power burst. I am deeply concerned about the amount of stamina that we have for running the derby. It's the best training we have right now. So let's take it, because we also have the Unity Cup round coming up in late June. Deep breaths is for longs, so that's not going to help us in the derby. I have concerns. So we don't want to get preferred position because we know she's not going to be a pace chaser. We know we don't want to get deep breaths because the derby is not a long. We could get soft step, but that's not pursuant to the goals for this run. This Agnes is supposed to be a long runner, not a medium runner. So this is 128 skill points that might help us win the derby, but it's not going to help us win in team trials. So I think we skip it. And the only thing that I'm thinking about here, you know what? Actually, we could take standard distance now that I think about it. So standard distance is extra stamina on tracks that are multiples of 400. The derby is 24. 2400 is a multiple of 400, but also quite a few long tracks are multiples of 400. The 3200s all are, and the 3600 is, which is specifically where you want the stamina. This may not be the worst investment because it will have some usefulness in team trials, and it will really help shore up our stamina for the derby. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get late surger corners at this point, and I'm going to run this race as a late surger. And specifically, I'm going to do that because different styles of running consume different amounts of stamina. Pace chasers actually consume more stamina than any other style. After that, it's front runners. After that, it's end surgers or end closers, and then after that, it's late surgers. So late surgers actually consume the least stamina of anybody. And given that our stamina is a little shaky right now and our power is good, I'm gonna try gambling on this race specifically as a late surger and see if it pays off. If we get blocked, we get blocked. That's life. But I think it will actually give us a better shot at winning. There's our standard distance trigger. I would be happy to not see rushed, and I would be really happy to see our unique trigger. So we're going to be further back at the start. That's part of the deal of running this strategy. But if we can make up a bit of distance in mid-race, and we can get some good late surger corner triggers to keep our velocity up, I think we'll be alright as long as our lane selection at the end of the race is pretty good. It's a gamble, but we'll see if it pays off. I'm fine being at this point in the pack right now because it insulates us from potentially getting paced down. Only the second half of late race really matters for jockeying for position. So right about now is when I would be excited to see us start moving up a bit. Also, if she could work her way to the outside instead of the inside, I think that would mitigate the likelihood that we get blocked, if that's possible. I don't love our positioning right now, and also I haven't seen any skill triggers. There's late surger corners. Alright. We didn't rush, but we didn't get our unique. So this is a little chancy right now. Really need some good acceleration here at the end. We have a lane. We just need to get around Ryan. Our acceleration is good. We actually really don't have a lane. There's a lot of people in front of us. Never mind, she's making up ground. It's going to be a fourth. It's going to be a third. It's going to be a third. It's going to be a fourth. It's going to be a third. I don't think stamina was the issue. I think we may have just not had enough speed to pull it off, but that's fine. We survived it. We needed to come top 5. We came third. We get to keep playing. And the next goal race is the Kikuka Show, which is 3,000. So we absolutely need more stamina for that. I'd like to get to around 400. And that's really going to help a lot. That's a great training. All right, let's take that. I wish you were here May early. You would have made me feel a lot better about the Derby. Tether is a medium skill. We're not going to be using that. And then this is a rest because next turn is summer vacation. That's a great wit training, but we need the energy is so much more valuable for us right now, so we're just going to take the rest. We should be all right for Unity Cup. We've actually generated quite a few bursts at this point. I think our training is going good. We even have a C rank runner in our sprint. This looks fine, and I don't really see anything that I need to adjust here. We've got D's in everything except long. We could technically move Rice into long, I guess. Rice, why don't you come over here? So now we've got C in sprint, D in mild, D in medium, D in long, D in dirt. That should give us a pretty good shot. How are we looking on top team? We're actually looking good on top team. I'll take top again. We can afford to take medium once. If we have great RNG, we can run top every single time. But we can afford to do medium, we can afford to do middle one time. Our second Unity Cup win. Beautiful. It's going to level our facilities up. We get a few more trainees. Coming into summer break at a great level of energy. Summer break is going to be all about finding the most efficient training. We don't really have to worry about spirit training as much. All of these are pretty bad, but I guess our best option is probably this rainbow speed. It also technically builds Taiki up a little bit. Every other training only had one person at it, so even though it builds friendships, I'd rather just get the raw stats now. Would love to wit here if possible. That looks like a great opportunity to wit. It's an okay power training, it's an okay guts training, but I would rather preserve energy for more rainbows. It pushes Taiki into Spirit Burst. That's also a pretty good wit training. It's a pretty good speed training though. Stam is bad, guts is bad. I would be content to roll on wit here because I know that we have rainbow speeds in the deck right now. And I would like the opportunity to train them if I need to. If I had taken speed there, we would have been a little risky to actually try and do it on late August. And then we get a burst on power or a burst on wit. Or like a pretty good speed training, but not for spring break. I think I'm okay bursting on power here. It continues building our stamina, and we can't really ignore our power either. We still have one more burst in the tank that we can allocate to stamina later, and I don't think this wit training is very good, even though it preserves our energy. So let's take the power. And then after this, I think we probably never have to work on power again. Our power is already quite good. We're going to get more of it just from training speed. And our priority at this point really needs to be stamina to keep it from falling too far behind. That is a good speed training if we add the energy for it. That's a interesting guts training if we add the energy for it, but this is going to be a rest. We are very low. And then let's look for one stamina burst in these next 2 days to get ready for the 3000 Kikukusho. Oh, there it is. Holy cow, and a double rainbow? Sure, man. Absolutely. So stamina is now perfect for the Kikukusho. We don't have to worry about it. We do have to keep building it for the sake of being a team trials runner, but we do not have to worry about it for that goal race specifically. We can just focus on good trainings here rather than stat priorities. That looks like a perfect wit training to me. Builds Cafe's spirit training, bumps Taiki's stats up even further, and she's going to be one of our dirt runners if we need her to be, so it's fine having her at a higher level. We can afford tanking some of the energy, and that's also our first gold recovery for longs. I have no complaints so far. I think everything is going fine. We could grab Inside Scoop, but if we're going to be running as a late surger in team trials, odds are we're usually going to be closer to the outer rail than the inner rail, so I'm not sure that's great. It seems like the kind of thing that might be better for like a front runner because they'll stick closer to the inner rail. Mediums we don't need, longs we already got, late surgers we'll worry about later. Adrenaline rush we don't need yet. We're good on stamina. I don't think we need to buy anything here. I think we can pass on all of this. And we can also go back to pace at this point. I would prefer to run further up just to mitigate the ability for us to get blocked by other runners. So 1 recovery and we should be in great shape. If we just hit our ult close to late race, I think we're loving life in this. I'm a little scared that there's a super creek here. Because if she wasn't here, I'm pretty sure most of these other runners are not built to have enough stamina to finish, and she will be. So I'm pretty sure this is going to come down to us and Creek. We're out of early race, we're into mid race. We shouldn't have to worry about position downs here. There's a lot of distance between us and the front runners. But we do spend a comparatively long amount of time in early race just because of how long the Kikukusho is. Doing a great job of securing mid-race positions here. Pace down and position keep should be ending right about now. So we should just be able to take off. Would love to see like a long straightaways. We're also getting pretty close to unique territory. Beautiful. I no longer have concerns about this race at all. It's just going to come down to speed and power. I don't think any of these other frontrunners are really going to be able to jump off of the line very well. They don't have stamina recoveries. And also, it might not matter, because we might just get past them before late race starts. Like, if I could get ahead of that Saiyan to deny angling and scheming, that would be really funny. Holy cow, she's gonna do it. That rocks. Okay. So we're off. Nobody else really looks like they have the stamina to finish this race, except for Creek, and Creek is way back there in, like, the late surger pack, so I don't think we have to worry about her that much. Oh, I didn't see there was a cafe, too. Jesus, man. This lobby was stacked with people with recovery skills. I still think we'll be okay, because we have enough stamina to survive it. This looks A-okay. Man, if we had done just a little better in the Derby, this would have been our first Triple Crown. First in the Satsuki, third in the Derby, first in the Kikukusho is still a really good chain of victories, though. Brings us to 56,000 fans. So we need to, if we could run one more G1 in these last 4 turns, it would take care of our fan threshold for leveling our unique almost completely. We do need to run one of them to hit our Valentine's upgrade, and then the Osaka High should take care of everything else, but we're looking for an opportunity to run a G1 here in these last 4 turns. That's not a good speed training. That's a stamina training that I would take purely to put my 2 speed cards to gold friendship, but it means we're going to have to rest next turn, and it also means we're probably going to run the Arima specifically. I would still do that. I think that's a fine training to work on friendships at this point, because I do want to start prioritizing rainbows when I get into next year. That's also a really good training, and I wish that I could take it, but we have to rest this turn. And then we can afford to train December early and race December late. So this works on McQueen's friendship. It's not an amazing spirit training, but neither is this. That's not even a training. Neither is this, and neither is this. So this seems like a fine wit turn. I also don't have to worry about mood because we're ideally going to fix it with the raffle in late January. So we'll take this training. We'll get McQueen closer to Rainbow. We actually have the energy to spend on this event right now because we're going to cap with New Year's and the raffle. I would take commendation practice in like probably 90% of cases, but I think this is the one time that I'd actually prefer partner running. I don't want my mood to drop all the way down to normal. That starts to be difficult to rebuild. We're not going to take that stamina training, or that speed training. It's a fine stam, it's a bad power, it's a bad guts, it's a bad wit. This is a perfect day to take off and run the Arima Kinan. This is going to square away, assuming we win, this is going to square away our fan goal for the rest of our career. Easy first. By a neck, never mind. Very dangerous first. But a win is a win. We're at 102,000 fans. We don't have to think about fans ever again. The rest of our career goals are going to carry us through this run. Third Unity Cup round should be okay. We burst a few times this year. We've got C's across the board, so I don't think we really have to touch this anymore. We're definitely better suited as being a late surger. The predictions look phenomenal. That doesn't mean that we're guaranteed to win, but it is a really good sign. Okay, sure. Sometimes Unity Cup is Unity Cup. I would take that option every single time because I feel like our trainings have been going fine, but sometimes the game decides it's not your turn to win. Give me a couple more trainees. Give me energy back, please. We can afford to train one time. That's a pretty interesting stamina training. That's also a pretty interesting speed training. And stamina and speed are roughly equivalent right now. But I know that stamina is going to be our more important priority long term because we're building a late Team Trials runner, so we take stamina here. This is why it pays off to know what your goal is at the start of a run, because your goal influences every decision that you make in the run itself. That's our mood up to great. It's a good chunk of energy back. Team rank up to B. A double rainbow on speed seems like a great opportunity to start taking these. I'd rather get these facilities to 4 before I start ignoring spirit training completely, but none of these spirit options are good. So just take the double rainbow on speed. Kita-san has good long hints potentially. If we saw long corners, straightaway recovery is also pretty good. That's a recovery skill. Unique level up number 1. Triple spirit on speed. Triple spirit on stamina. I would really like to just keep speed and stamina equal as much as possible. It's also a worse wit, but these are two really good core stat trainings. So I'm just going to take the stamina to bring it equal to speed. We might have to rest this turn depending. If we see recovery, or if we see a good wit training, that's pretty disastrous. But we just took 2 good trainings in a row. I'm not that upset about it. And in fact, I might wit here, because it's not a half bad wit. It gets Suzuka and Palmer closer to Unity bursts, and it makes our less training... We'll still have a failure rate on our next training unless we get an energy recovery event, but it should only be around 10%, and maybe the wit training next turn is also good, and we can get rid of that failure rate completely. I think that's fine to wit on just to keep momentum instead of doing a full rest. It's not exactly the energy recovery we were looking for. In fact, it's like the opposite of the energy recovery we were looking for, and we're passing up a great stamina training to do it. In hindsight, resting would have been a lot better, but we don't know what the game is going to do next. That's also a really nasty energy recovery. Oh no. Oh, it's all falling apart. Give me a plus 10 energy. Give me a race. We're going to have to figure out what to do about Night Owl. I don't think we need to buy skills here. Let's just go race. What are we going to do about that Night Owl? So there's a few ways to take care of it. Option number one is we could just rest and get lucky and get the plus 70 rest, which clears Night Owl automatically. Option two is we could go to the infirmary, which means taking a turn off of training. Option three is we could rest in summer break, which is coming up in 5 turns. And we could just tank our energy loss until then for the sake of getting energy back naturally through summer break. I don't currently know what direction I want to go. That's nice, Late Surger S. We'll actually use that. I'm inclined to say that if we see a bad training, I might just go to the infirmary. But I don't think I would go to the infirmary over good trainings, and this is a good training. I would not infirmary over this. This is a really good stamina training. That's also a pretty good speed training, and I do want to get McQueen to gold before we enter summer break. But I think I'd just take that stamina. It levels a lot of our team members. We successfully dodged an energy loss. That's an okay speed. It's a pretty good wit. But none of those, to me, look better than just doing the infirmary to potentially get rid of Night Owl at this point. Perfect. So now we don't have to worry about it in summer break, and we can just focus on training 4 times in summer break. Fast Learner's really nice. Fast Learner is... It says gain all kinds of tactical hints, but really what it does is it just makes every single one of your skills like 10% cheaper. This is a big part of why you try and wait to buy skills as long as you can, because you don't know if you're going to pick up Fast Learner in a run, and we're very lucky to see it there. This is a single rainbow speed. That's not amazing, but none of these trainings are amazing. And in fact, I might just wit because I want McQueen to get to gold before summer break. So we're actually passing up a rainbow to do a wit training here, but I think it's correct because I'm banking on these last turns being good. It also preserves our energy. So we can do one big train here, and then we can do one rest, and we should come into summer break with perfect energy. That looks like a pretty good stamina. It looks like an okay speed. It does not look like a good wit, does not look like a good guts. I would take this stamina and then I would rest. Rainy Days, probably not a hint we're going to be using. It does not rain that often in team trials, although it is worth noting that you could use a rain doll to force it to rain. This is an... Okay, so hear me out, right? This is an interesting training opportunity. We're currently at only a good mood, which means that we would really like to fix our mood. And one of the ways that we can fix our mood is by resting during summer break, which gives us 40 energy and a guaranteed mood up. It's a good idea to enter summer break with 100 energy. But in this case, this is already a pretty good training. And we can also double dip on what recreation does in summer break if we just wait a turn and then we have our first turn of summer break be a rest. For this training specifically, I'm actually going to take the double rainbow, and then I'm just going to rest the first turn of summer break because it lets us double up on the way that we're going to build energy and mood at the same time. If I see an event that bumps my mood to great, like that one, I'm going to be really disappointed with that choice, but I think that was a principled decision to make, even if it hasn't paid off for us in this case. The only way that could have been the wrong choice is if we had specifically gotten a boot up event on early June. And it just so happens that that's the way that the cookie crumbles sometimes. But I think that decision is almost always correct to make, even if it didn't work out here. Let's go do the Osaka High. The stat line should be fine for every other race in the game at this point, including the Spring Tenno show next year if she has to run it. A late start is fine as a pace chaser. We can catch back up. All of these races are just going to be down to RNG at this point. We have a great stat line. We're not going to lose any of these races to stats. That was a very nasty late start because we still haven't recovered position among this pace chaser pack right now. That's a good start, but we need to keep advancing. And in fact, I think we're blocked by Mayano right now. Good progress. So if you could get past Meisho and like get to the outer lanes, that would be exciting, because if you just try and take off now, you're going to run directly into the back of Mayano, and you're also slowly getting boxed in by everybody around you. We need a bit of a lane change to happen here soon, Agnes. Good unique. She's finally getting ahead of those other runners boxing her out, which is good. I also think Mayano is moving... No, okay, we're moving to the outside now. Good. Beautiful timing on your lane change. Run past Suzuko, run past this NPC runner, and then just protect that lead from anybody scary coming behind you. There are a lot of people moving quickly behind us right now. This is not guaranteed. Mayano's moving really fast next to us right now. Nah, we're good. We're good. Close one. That is another trophy unlock for us. Another batch of carrots. And then we've just got... Oh, we don't even run the Spring Tenno. I'm in Senior already. What am I talking about? We just run Autumn Tenno and Arima and we're done. I'm a fool. I'm crazy. So we lost the last round. This should be a fairly easy round to win for us. Our medium runners look very sketchy because we're there, but hopefully everybody else can hold it down. Beautiful. Is this the run where we finally beat Team Zenith? It feels like it could be. We've done everything right so far. So we're forced into a rest on the first turn here. We could potentially take that wit, but I don't think it gives us enough energy back to really make me feel comfortable training for the next 3 turns. And we still need to find one opportunity to wit here. These are horrible speed and stamina trainings. It's a beautiful wit training. So we take wit, and now we can train. We can train early August, train late August, cross our fingers for good rainbows. That's a beautiful stamina training. And then could I see like a double rainbow speed, a triple rainbow speed? Is it too much to ask? It's not too much to ask. Okay, this deck is actually good, and that Super Creek run was just very bad. Deck is working perfectly right now. We're going to have to rest coming out of this turn. A corner adept hint is not worth as much as 15 skill points, especially because we have the fast learner buff right now. So taking 15 skill points is actually going to be more efficient than taking a hint on corner adept, even if we didn't have the corner adept hint. That's not great. That's also not great. I'm very comfortable resting here. That's a great energy recovery. Let's nail some trainings here at the end of this run, and then I think we have a really interesting long distance runner on our hands. That's 2 spirit trainings, 2 support cards, 3 spirit trainings, no support cards. This should probably be a stamina training for us. We want to keep building our stamina if we're going to be a long runner. Here, I think we can afford to take the double speed, though. It's just going to be more stats overall. 18 and 8 versus 35 and 12, and our stamina is ahead of our speed now. We're going to get around 70 to all stats for free out of the finale, depending on whether we beat Team Zenith or not. So really, we're closer to like 720 stam right now. I would love to get to 8. If I could get to 800 stamina at the end of this run, I think we'd be really comfortable with where we're at. I don't need to buy right now. We're just going to benefit from Fast Learner at the very end of the run. Bottom 10 out of 10 pace chasers, doesn't matter. Winning by half a length. And then we've got 3 turns to train, and we've got the Arima, and then we've got the finals. Mood went down is fine. Don't worry about it. Double rainbow on Stam, only 10% to fail, versus a middling wit training. So we take this, we rest, we look to train wit probably, and then we run the Arima. Is this a better training than one my deck should be able to produce on average? Yes. Technically, we could see a triple rainbow if Cafe decided to show up here as well, but I think a double rainbow on Stam is about as good as we'd hope for. And the 10% fail is not that bad, so we'll take it. We'll rest late November, passing up on a pretty decent stamina training that also eats a burst, but maybe we can do that early December as well. All of the rest of these trainings are pretty bad. I am perfectly comfortable taking a turn off to rest here. I cannot believe we got a plus 70 on that. It's exactly what we needed. And then single rainbow on Stam. Nothing on speed. Interesting power training, but it's way too late in the game now to be worrying about spirit trainings. I think we just consumed this Spirit Burst because we have the final Unity Cup round coming up, even though it's going to overflow our energy. It's just going to make sure that we can train for the last 3 turns of the game. Rosy Outlook is also a pretty good hint, I believe. So everything here has gone great. If we had won that single round of the Unity Cup, it would almost be like a perfect run, I think, for what this deck can produce. But we're in great shape here. Arima victory by half a length. Final Unity Cup round. And then we're into our last 3 trainings for career. How we looking? A lot of C ranks, no B ranks. That's fine. I'm still not buying skills. I would lose the final in the Unity Cup round if it meant that I could buy more on skills later. That might be incorrect, but I'm not going to spend down on skills now. See if we can manage to pull together a win in the medium slot. I'm doubtful, but hopefully the rest of the team can carry us. We're a 3, 5, and 6 favorite. That is a very scary little Kokon. Suzuka almost triggering groundwork if she had it is kind of sick, though. Let's see how we do. So far, so good. Frenzied Pace Chasers, Rice, please. Don't do this to me. She can't debuff me. Because she's on my team. But, like, it was interesting timing. That the second we rushed, she decided to proc it. Fast-paced is good, but I do not think that Suzuka is fast enough right now to keep away this gaggle of pace chasers. Good unique trigger. We shouldn't be hurting for stamina on a 2000, but it is a slight amount of velocity. Suzuka is about to get eaten by both of our pace chasers, so she is simply not fast enough. Leader's Pride is not going to do enough for you here, unfortunately. Final Push is not going to do enough here for you. She's really trying to hang in there. She actually is hanging in there? Holy cow. Suzuka might win. Well, this is interesting. No, we're going to pass her here on the final straight. But unless Little Coco makes a ton of ground up, we may actually win this medium race, which is huge. She's not going to do it. Okay, sure. Number 6 favorite coming in first. Easy. Now, can the rest of the team also come through? Is the question. Oh, they can. Okay, finally, Unity Cup victory. They said it couldn't be done, but it can be done. So that's going to give us a hint for our gold recovery because we named our team after rice, which is great. So I hear the victory screen behind me, but I'm still on the concert. I think I need to restart. I'll be right back. Okay, we're good. Victory was preserved. We're still fine. It skipped the concert because I told it to. We get our achievement for winning the Unity Cup. We get a big stat boost for winning the Unity Cup. And then we just need to close out our last 3 turns on full energy. We've done everything right so far. This is a good stam training. Let's continue to try and push to 800 if we can. We're probably going to need at least 1 rainbow training to do it. That's team rank S. It's on is also going to be a very nice hint for us. Good. Semis. Good. Absolutely putrid training options. There's, well, okay, that's actually a great wit. So we could take speed, which is 18 and 7, and then a little bit of extra from Unity. Or we could take a 17 and 9 wit. I feel like this is actually just more efficient stats-wise, even if it's not building our speed. We don't care about the spirit trainings anymore. We're not going to get Smart Falcon to burst. We don't all care about these either, but because of how many supports are here, this should just be a more efficient training numerically. And then I would really love to see a rainbow on the last turn. Triple rainbow stamina, triple rainbow speed. We see either of those, and we can feel very good about this run. Okay, she got blocked. We'll obviously be alarm clocking that. There is no way that we are losing this race. Excuse me? What is going on? Oh, you know what I think is going on here? I think we're getting nominated as the front runner because there is no front runner, and then none of our other stuff is triggering when it's supposed to. What if we run this late? There we go. It's just that easy. Oh, man. Okay, good. That was very alarming, but we're good. No rainbow? Okay, our luck has fallen apart at the end of this run. We have not seen a rainbow training on any of these 3 turns. I'll take the speed because it should be fine. This is still a usable Tachyon. It's still actually like a pretty good Tachyon. But we definitely got less lucky than we could have in those final 3 turns. We can also go back to pace now. We'll watch it because it's the finals. We owe it to her. We probably could have bought our skills as well if we wanted to, but I forgot. Let's see how we do. Stamina shouldn't be an issue. We don't need standard distance to proc here, but it's nice to have. There is only, I think, 1 frontrunner in this lobby. I forgot to check. Yeah, there might be 3. No, they're both hitting pace down. Never mind, there's only 1 frontrunner in this lobby. Bourbon is just slow right now. Yeah, whoever 15 is, that NPC runner at their front, is constantly hitting pace downs up there because she's so much faster than Bourbon is right now, but the game is just mechanically not letting her get past. On the bright side, that means it should be very easy to pass Bourbon as soon as position keep goes away and as soon as pace down ends, which should be right about now. I would also love to see us start making some more progress because we are deep in this pace chaser pack right now. Right about now is when acceleration should kick up. Just don't get blocked. Please don't get blocked. I don't see any potential blocks here. I also don't see great acceleration off the line. This might be another alarm clock, y'all. We'll see. I shouldn't doubt her this early. Now I'll start doubting her. This is going to be an alarm clock, y'all. Wonder if I should go back to late surger again. Definitely don't cancel. This is your last shot. What is missing here? I don't think anything is missing here. Just go, you know what, go late. Your S on late surger. Maybe the wit will help. It's going to give you a higher top speed at the end of the race. You have okay power to accelerate through it. Let's try late and see how we do. We also missed a unique trigger that round, which is also not helping things. But this race should not be as difficult as it looks on paper right now. I wonder if the difference is that we're in the finals with Glass and Kokon because we won the Unity Cup. Because they're two really good runners. But that shouldn't be the difference between, like, 1st and 6th. That should be the difference between 1st and 3rd. Let's see how we do. We've got lots of positioning that we can advance up on here. Rushed is fine, we can tank that. That's okay. Late surger corners is good. That secures us a pass. This is great positioning for us right now. We're up very close to the pace chasers. I would love to see a unique trigger here to get the velocity out of it and to cover off the stamina that we wasted from rushing. Anything? Alright, no unique, but I love our positioning here on the outside. We will be able to run around everybody else here as soon as acceleration kicks in. There's the unique. That's not great velocity-wise, but it's nice to have the recovery just to make sure we can finish. Are we going to be able to catch these front runners? It does not look great. That's more what I would expect. So we're losing to two very strong runners because we won the Unity Cup round. We just don't quite have enough stats to get past the top two runners at the end. That's disappointing because it's going to cost us our gold skill at the end of the run, I think? No, it doesn't. Okay, we still get the gold skill. But it is going to cost us a pretty big stat bump at the end. I think we're losing out on like 11 stats total there. Still though, a good Team Trials runner, even if it wasn't necessarily a perfect run. So what do we want to take here? Everything is going to be very cheap. We already took late surger corners, long straightaways. We take Adrenaline Rush because it's a recovery. We take Cooldown because it's a recovery. We take It's On because it's a good mid-race velocity skill. We take Professor of Curvature because it's a good mid-race velocity skill. We could take Straightaway Recovery as an additional recovery, but right now we're working with a recovery unique and 2 gold recoveries. That, on top of 730 stam, should get us through most of the long races. It's not going to get us through the 3600. It probably doesn't get us through the 3400, but it might be good enough for the 32s. Sparks are not amazing, but this is a perfectly serviceable Team Trials runner. Even if the run wasn't perfect and we didn't manage to actually secure the URA finale, that's still a really, really nice run. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be a significantly better runner than Creek is. We'll take a look. Give me all my currencies, and let's go take a look at the Team Trials roster. So we now have 2 long runners. We'll get Tachyon in there as a late surger at S rank. We're at 760, 730, 551. 700, 730, 561. They're actually about the same. Tachyon's a little faster. Stamina-wise, they're about equal, but Tachyon has an entire second gold recovery instead of all these random blue recoveries. So they're actually very close. We'll go ahead and lock that in, bump our team rank up, gives us a little extra carrots. We're approaching C, which is nice. We've got 4 slots to fill up. That should take care of that pretty handily. Then let's go knock dailies out. We'll try racing against a rank C runner. Maximize our potential points. We have drawn into a 2600 long. That's a pretty short long race. There's a chance that we lose it to these two if they're just faster. We've drawn into a 2400 medium. Daiwa has a decent chance of winning that if they're not stammed up the way they should be. Okay. That should be a very good score for team trials. 154. We're definitely safe for promotion line this week. 5 extra carrots, and then let's take a look at what happened here. First and second, beating a gold chip by 9 lengths. They only have 540 stamina. They don't have a white recovery. Even though this was only a 2600 meter race, this is the difference that stamina makes. This gold chip is definitely slower on speed, but not by that much with all of the skills that they have going on here. They simply don't have the stamina to compete in a longer, long race. And then down here at the 2400, Daiwa winning by distance over a vodka. 859 versus 875. Again, that's a stamina difference. We're about the same speed. Vodka has significantly more power. She also has significantly more skills for victory. However, she has no recovery. On the other hand, we have higher stamina. We have 2 white skills. We are going to beat up on people who do not build for stamina appropriately every single time until we get to either extremely short team trials runs or we get high enough that everybody around us is building for stamina as well. Let's claim some special missions. Oh, we need to do our daily races still. Hold on. Creek, get in. Or not Creek. Taiki, get in here. Good. 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 Alright, that's our dailies done. We'll grab a couple of our star pieces because we've got plenty of money right now to spend on them. We'll head back to our daily quests. There's my full 75 carrots. Making good progress on main story stuff, making good progress on titles, making good progress on limited duration events. Looking forward to working on these soon, and maybe we should take a run to knock this one out because it's a ton of dirt races. We could try and do that with Haru in the next run. Maybe try and knock this one out because we only have 2 days left. These don't have durations. I'm not that fussed about finishing them super fast. We'll keep working through them over time. We'll also grab all of our carrots for obtaining trophies and getting a team trials rating. We'll go spin our roulette wheel. We'll claim all of our event missions to get more coins. Good. Am I set to max spin? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Not a great spin, but approaching pity again. We're at 19 of 25. We're at 20 of 25 spins, so we'll complete that second bingo card soon. We still have tons of time before that event actually ends, but for now, that's where we're going to wrap it up. If you're enjoying the Uma series, do let me know in the comments. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all that stuff you would normally do. If you have any questions about mechanic stuff, or you have some suggestions for some runs, runners, etc. that we should take on next, drop me a line and let me know. Would be happy to work on it. But until then, I'll see you in the next one. I've been Chef, and enjoy the rest of your day.